Aphids, mosquitoes, and ticks. Oh my. Spiders and mice and fleas, goodbye. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about repelling pests essentially. How to use therapeutic grade essential oils in suspensions of carrier oil or water or witch hazel or peroxide to treat your home without chemicals for pests. There is a myriad of pestilence, and for our home, we've seemed to have a lot of dealings with spiders lately. Don't ask me where they're all coming from, but my husband will tell you I'm a little bit freaked out by those eight-legged creatures, and I don't like them anywhere near my dwelling place. I've managed to keep them at bay inside my home quite well using peppermint, cinnamon, clove, and a few other essential oils, but they were still outside of my home. And, sometimes therapeutic essential oils, because when you're initially getting started with therapeutic grade essentials, you have to make a little bit of a financial investment. That investment is stunning because it could last you a very long time, and it goes a long way to keeping your family in health. But I didn't want to waste it by spraying it around outside into the air. I prefer to use it as I make a natural insect repellent that I spray on my clothes and my flesh before I go outside. But I'm noticing, especially with all the rain that we've had in Pennsylvania, certain pests are really they're everywhere. A lot of gnats and little flies, mosquitoes have been biting terribly because of all the dampness, as well as ant holes seem to be getting flooded. And I've seen an incredible amount of ants. And so I just began to research, how do I destroy their homes and their lives without destroying my own life and home with chemical additives. And so today I want to share with you again about repelling pests essentially, how to use the therapeutic grade essentials to get rid of pests in your home, garden, on your body, when you're camping. So let's start with the garden. Growing organic produce is so very important for your health. Being able to buy produce that has not been sprayed. Why would you go so far to grow organic produce only to put chemicals to keep the insects at bay? So here are things that we can do naturally to destroy the pestilence in our gardens. Let's start with aphids. Aphids do not like peppermint and spearmint. They are definitely not minty. And so if you could take a cup of water and suspend in it 5 drops of spearmint, 5 drops of peppermint, and include 1 drop or 2 drops of even up to a quarter of a teaspoon, half a teaspoon of Castile soap or an organic soap base without chemical additives in the water. Shake it up well and spray it about your plants. Aphids will not draw near. So that is a wonderful answer to deal with the aphid population. If you're dealing with beetles that are eating up your food, they also despise peppermint. What works well for them is also thyme, cedarwood, and orange oil. So you can use a blend of peppermint, thyme, cedarwood, and orange. Again, taking a cup of filtered water, adding to it 5 drops of each of the essential oils, and a teaspoon of Castile soap. Shake it well, spray it on your leaves. It is healthy for you and unhealthy for the beetles. One of the things that I hate finding around my planters, wherever dampness will be, sometimes I'll find those earwigs. Some people call them forktail bugs. I hate those things. I know that they're not going to bite me and hurt me, but it doesn't really seem to matter. When I see them, I get a little, ah. So for forktail or earwigs, you can use either a boric acid powder and sprinkle it on them, and they will die, my friends. Boric acid is safe for you. It will not harm you physically. You can also use a spray made of the essential oils thyme, cinnamon, and cedarwood to keep forktails at bay. Um, let's move on to another outdoor thing. They're a little pretty actually. A little black bug with a little red stripe down its back. It's called a box elder bug. They're more creepy to me than they look a little like a beetle. They're more creepy to me. They're kind of harmless, but I just really don't want them anywhere near my home. They can be found a lot of times under your siding, and they come out when the sun comes out like a stink bug. So for stink bugs or box elder bugs, you can use a peppermint and spearmint oils in water to keep them at bay. Anything to keep away a stink bug. Stink bugs, I have one lovely neighbor who would take her hose on her vacuum cleaner and suck them up. Like she would just wage war against the stink bugs. And in Pennsylvania, the last few years, we have had a tremendous stink bug population. These are not creatures that are coming because you're dirty, folks. These are creatures that live outdoors and have become so their population has grown to such a degree that we can no longer tolerate them. So let us keep them at bay from our homes with peppermint and spearmint, just to keep our wives happy. Happy wife, happy life. When there's no bugs in the mix, everyone feels better. All of these creatures, as well as slugs, respond to a fossilized remains of a plankton. The fossilized remains of plankton is called diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth is a stunning powder. You need to make sure you're getting food grade diatomaceous earth because they also use it in pool filters for cleaning. So you have to make sure you have food grade diatomaceous earth, but it can be sprinkled around your plants, the base of your plants. You can use it in your dog beds, under your dog beds, in your chicken coops, around your plants of any kind. And diatomaceous earth will literally suck the life out of any insect that you would experience. So diatomaceous earth is stunning in that it literally draws every speck of moisture out of them and they just shrivel up and die. So even slugs cannot stand diatomaceous earth, and you can keep your plants healthy and happy and not bring any harm to them or yourself with the food grade diatomaceous earth. So, next I want to talk to you about some home invaders. Ants. Ants despise peppermint, spearmint, black pepper, cinnamon, and clove. What I like about each of these essential oils is it kind of burns the little ants. So, if you are a die-hard creature lover, you may not prefer to. But what's the difference between a lovely therapeutic grade essential oil and a chemical? They're going to die regardless. So if you're in the business of seeing ants disappear, let's use therapeutic grade essentials. Again, peppermint, spearmint, black pepper, cinnamon, or clove. You can use a blend of any of those. Grab one or two of those. You can feel free to take a fresh black peppercorns and grind them in and use them with the essential oils because black pepper oil, essential oil, can be a little bit costly, but it is one of the most amazing oils to use. It's incredible for blocking pain messages to your body. It helps your body deal with fats properly, so it has many other uses besides simply deterring ants. This next pestilence pestilence that I want to talk about is bed bugs. Thank the Lord, thank you, Father, that I have never had to deal with bed bugs personally. But I have encountered people who've called me, clients who've called me and said, "Oh my goodness, someone came to visit, brought bed bugs, or we stayed in a hotel and brought home bed bugs. Please tell me what on earth I can do." Now, one of the things I like to do when I go to stay at a hotel is I get 90% sportyl alcohol, and I put it in a spray bottle, and I add tea tree and cinnamon oil to it, and I will spray the mattress. I will spray the sheets. I turn down all the blankets and spray everything before I ever get into the bed. The reason I love to use the alcohol as a carrier for it is because it dries quickly. Sometimes when you check into a hotel, you only have 4 to 5 hours till you're going to bed for the evening, and so you need something that will dry quickly in the room, and you only have to find a place to rest. But I'll spray all the furniture, the carpets around the beds because I am not having bed bugs. But other oils that bed bugs despise are lavender, neem, and thyme. So make a beautiful blend. Keep bed bugs at bay because from everything I've ever read and heard, it destroys everything in your home. They can get in your carpets. I've heard people having to throw away sofas because it infests the sofas and even bites people's bodies. So let's keep ourselves and our homes bed bug free using therapeutic grade essential oils. Let's talk next about cockroaches. Again, grateful to God, this is not something that I've had much experience with, but research research with therapeutic grade essential oils points out that cockroaches do not like eucalyptus, tea tree oil, thyme, cinnamon, or cedar wood. I would listen. You don't want to have the roaches. I would invest $30, buy all the oils, make a spray. Again, use the same formula: 8 ounces of purified water, 1/2 to a teaspoon of an organic soap like Castile soap. That just helps it to stick to things, so it doesn't just diffuse into the air. It helps it just to cling to surfaces, and then shake it well each time before spraying, and keep them from coming in your home. Sometimes it's not about your it's not about you at all. Sometimes cockroaches, like in places like New York, my husband told me, they can come right up through your drains. The same thing happens when we're in Mexico. I have watched cockroaches that are so large you want to die come up through the sink drains, and I will do anything to keep them at bay. So I will spray around each of my drains with a natural therapeutic grade essential oil cocktail to keep them far from my home. They just cannot come in. On my last trip, though, the one Airbnb we stayed in, I saw one and only took one. I freaked out, went and bought myself one of those sonic sound machines that there's just no way. I just don't have it in me to deal with insects. If you haven't figured that out this far into this presentation, I do not like bugs, so I will do just about anything to keep them at bay and far from our home. Since we're talking about things that can invade the home, let us also talk about mice for a moment. Mice despise peppermint and lemon oils. Those are two oils that mice just don't like the smell of. So, what I like to do is I like to take drops of peppermint oil because I do live kind of in the country, and there's a lot of cow farms around me, a lot of grain fields, and we also live along a creek. So I just don't want any. Cannot, will not have mice. And so what I do is sometimes I'll take a few drops of peppermint oil and put it in each of my air vents of my home, so that by doing that the smell is diffused throughout my home every time the air conditioner or heater kicks on, just to be extra sure that no mice draw nigh our dwelling. I like to keep things minty fresh. Another way that you can deter mice that is very powerful is using diatomaceous earth. So, although the diatomaceous earth doesn't dry up the mouse, the nature of the diatomaceous earth powder really retains the therapeutic grade essential oil scents well. So the dried plankton the dried ground plankton remains, fossilized plankton, works very well to as a carrier. So what you can do is take 1 cup of food grade diatomaceous earth and 1/8 of a cup of water. You add it slowly in. You're just trying to get the diatomaceous earth. You gently stir it in until the earth is moist. You don't want the earth to be soaking wet, just moist. And then you add 5 to 10 drops of peppermint and 5 to 10 drops of lemon into your container. Put it under your cabinets, I don't know, wherever you're seeing mice. That mice might be coming in if you're seeing some kind of opening, if it's in your basement. By putting the diatomaceous earth around in little containers of this moistened diatomaceous earth, it will actually help the scent to stay longer. I've tried using also cotton rounds, and we put the oils all over the cotton rounds, dropping them like for the spiders. I just cannot stand it. So sometimes I'll hide it in little corners of my home or behind my furniture just to make sure that no spiders are building webs back there, and we are keeping them repelled. I also spray it all around my door frames, just doors and windows, to make sure that nothing is coming in the doors and windows as well. So again, if you're just joining us, we're talking about how to repel pests essentially. So moving right along, let's talk about spiders. Spiders, if you've ever watched, if you watch a lot of Disney, you'll know that reference. Spiders or spiders do not like peppermint, lavender, cinnamon, citronella, or cloves. So sometimes I'll go a little hard depending on how many spiders, when it, especially in the fall when they're making those little sacks. Oh honey, I don't want any baby spiders born in my home or anything like that. And so I will really, in a powerful way, treat behind my drapes around the door frames and window of the doors and windows of my home to make sure that no spiders come in. Let's talk a little bit about the outdoor flying bugs. Flies. Flies despise rosemary, peppermint, lemongrass, tea tree, and cedar. Mosquitoes despise geranium, clove, citronella, lemongrass, hyssop, peppermint, and rosemary. Gnats despise eucalyptus, lavender, peppermint, clove, and lemongrass. And fleas despise cedarwood, citronella, eucalyptus, lemongrass, and peppermint. So what I like to do is I'm going to give you next my essential repellent recipe. To make essential repellent recipe for flying insects, things that will bite you, making your skin itch, I like to use 12 ounces of purified water in a little spray bottle. To that I add 20 drops of neem oil, 20 drops of peppermint oil, 20 drops of cedarwood, 20 drops of citronella, 20 drops of geranium, 20 drops of lavender, 20 drops of tea tree, and 20 drops of cloves. This will help protect you from ticks, mosquitoes, fleas, flies, gnats. Why have to make one oil for each type of insect when you can make one oil that you can spray all about and take care of all the problems at one time? To the 12 ounces of purified water and the drops of oil, I add 1 to 2 teaspoons of I use an organic bath wash that that I add to it. You can use Castile soap. That will just help it helps break up so that the essential oils don't just float along the top. It helps it to break up and to combine better, and then to stick to the surfaces that you spray it to. Then you shake it well each time before spraying. Spray it around your windows. It's safe for your clothing. It's safe for your children. This oil is so safe, children can eat it, get it in their mouths, and stay unscathed, stay unharmed. So, a second recipe that I have that's a really good repellent recipe, a generalized repellent recipe, calls for 1/2 cup of witch hazel. And to that, you add 20 drops of eucalyptus, 20 drops of lemongrass, 20 drops of citronella, 20 drops of tea tree, and 20 drops of rosemary. These 100 drops will save your life, save you from being chewed up, especially if you have little toddlers and you need something safe that if they put their hands in their mouth, it's just not going to harm them. It's really important that we're not treating our children with chemicals that they can ingest. So please employ the essential repellent recipe if you want to just keep your home and your family happy and healthy and without little insect bites. However, if you do get bitten, don't forget that Tiffany Nadine Creations has a wonderful oil called Wound, Burn, and Bite that you can purchase. This oil is incredible. It helps with everything from sunburn to spider bites. Um, if you were bit by a spider or a tick, you can apply it to that area and it helps take care of any bacteria that those pests would leave behind in your body, as well as if you're bit by a fly, mosquito, a gnat. It takes that itch out, that incessant itch that makes you want to dig your flesh away. Yes, so remember that wound, burn, and bite. If you have a tendency to be bitten a lot in the summer months, spring months, don't hesitate to give us a call. The last things I want to address are moths. Moths, everyone knows cedar and moths. And you can get the cedar bricks and you can put them in your basement and you can put them in your closets, in your drawers. It's important that you buy cedar wood oil to refresh them from time to time. You don't just want to buy the blocks once and then expect that they'll stay. Keep your home free of pestilence for years and years and years. It's better to refresh them from time to time. Other oils that moths do not like are citronella, hyssop, and peppermint. So if you're having a terrible time with moths, you can also bring some plants into your home. Purchase a peppermint plant. Purchase a little citronella plant. And don't hesitate to put them in your home if you're dealing with moth issues. And lastly, wasps. So let's just face it, folks. There are some flying creatures that will sting the life out of you. And they keep stinging and stinging until somebody it's not like a bee where you get one sting and it's over. So how do we repel these things, these wasps? They despise black pepper, cinnamon, cloves, geranium, and peppermint. I hope that I've enlightened you some today on the ways to repel pests essentially. I apologize that in this presentation there was a lot of reading, but let's be honest. I'm not sure that I could have recounted all of those pests and all of those oils without my little cheat sheet. So remember this, that when you're using food grade products or therapeutic grade essential oils, they're safe for your body. They're safe for your children. They're safe for your house guests. So when you're preparing your barbecue, you're preparing your family reunions, you're spending your time on vacation, camping, RVing, out at the beach, don't allow yourself, don't let your vacation, your time with your family be soured by insect bites and pestilence. So employ the therapeutic grade essential oils. It's really a good investment for your health and your home. A lot of these same oils can be used when cleaning your home. I actually took citronella and lemon oil and some cinnamon and clove, and I made a damp dusting spray so that when I was dusting my furniture, I could also keep insects at bay. There are ways to employ these essential oils that are not wasteful but healthful and will help you keep your home pestilence free. Please remember to use essential oils wisely to repel these pests and stay pest free. Thank you so much for joining me, Master Herbalist Tiffany Street Beka of Tiffany Nadine Creations. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the ways that you can keep your home pest free. Have a blessed day.